Hello, hello, you mighty stars, you luminous lights of love. For some reason, I seem a little blurry, and I think it's because I went a bit early there we go. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Or maybe my camera is just not used to working in the night because normally Courtney, myself, stars of the Morning Light host, is a star of the morning, and it is quarter to 10 o'clock on Thursday night, March 27th, 2024. So I am tired, and maybe my camera just was tired as well. Who knows? That's groovy. We're all together now. If anyone comes in the chat, I will say hello to you. Because tonight is just a nice little I don't know, it'll be a rant of some sort, right? Or just conversation, what have you. And if no one shows up, no one shows up either. That's groovy as well. I have no idea if I'm interrupting other people's shows or not. How this happened, folks, is I am normally live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. And then Lucky Stone 888 and I are together Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, pre-recorded with Lucky Stone because, yes, I do need some more subscribers to go live. Lucky and I have been discussing, though, about going back and forth from his channel and my channel, um, recording and going live. Tomorrow, Friday, though, I am finishing up painting a logo on a fence with my husband for Blue Sun Fusion Studio in Dalton, Georgia, where I teach a bunch of my classes. And it's going to be good for me to do some creative labor. It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it, but that means I would not be live in the morning. So I am here with you now because today I was not able to create anything else. You know, when I was running around this evening, everyone that I encountered said, "Yeah, it's been a long day. Yeah, it's been a long day." And I saw multiple cars on the road that their gas caps were, or, cans were just open. Their caps were open, all that sort of thing. I think people are just really tired. I think people are tired, and there's a lot of reasons why. And so we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about a few things, some stuff from observation, some stuff that I do know, some stuff that I knew was going to happen because I am an Akashic reader. I talk a lot about that on Wednesdays with the Edgar Casey Life Skills Studies. So let's get into it, everybody. Normally, when I'm on live, I pick a card from the Sacred Geometry deck, and I did so just now. And I believe this card is exactly what we need. Number 20, discernment. The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. Wow, guys, I gotta read that again. I gotta read that again. The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. I had to read that twice. Discernment. Discernment. That beautiful sacred geometry right there. And what you guys don't know is sometimes when I go live, I'm not sure what's going to come out of my mouth, but prior to me hitting the live button, I put my hands in prayer position, right across from my high heart, and I say, be my words, be my actions, be my thoughts, right? And then I say, pull a card for me tonight. And discernment came out. So, which is going to be very much, I think, a part of what is being said. Hello, Coke Queen out there in Oklahoma. Good to see you, my dear. You might be making dinner right now, but I'm glad you're here, or just post dinner. I'm glad you're here. I will say hello to those in the chat because this is a lovely community here. There's been a lot going on with the energies, right? And everybody in this community really knows. We know about the eclipses, right? These lovely eclipses that are happening. We know about Mercury going into retrograde. We know all this stuff that's happening. And yes, you look to the stars. There's not a single ancient text. Mm, I seriously can't think of one that does not tell us to look at the stars. There's not a single one that as far as, like, religious texts or even maybe any text you would read for anthropology, I mean, ancient stuff, right? There's not a single one that doesn't say, "Look to the sky. Look to the stars. What is going on up there?" Signs and wonders, right? Which is groovy. We're supposed to. Every being in the cosmos looks to the stars. Every being in the cosmos looks to the stars for their signs and wonders. But then what we do with it is fascinating. What we do with it is it is fascinating. Sometimes it's fascinating in that comical way, that scary way, that the so many ways that what we do with it after we look. This is where I want to start, folks. So we are in 2024. Okay. We're in 2024. That is a 8 year. And I don't believe, I can't remember if I had Alex on or not, who is um, the numerologist that kind of goes around with a lot of people talking about things on Milky Way Soul Tribe here, Andromeda 7. Uh, but is, I can't remember if he was here or not. It is an 8. This is what I do know about 8. 8 is, completion. Awesome. Good. Great. We want to complete things, right? But the other thing about 8 that a lot of people might not understand is that 8 is really closely related. It could be the older sibling, energetically speaking, of 6. So we were supposed to, us lovely humans, we were supposed to do a grand, grand amount of healing in 2022. I don't believe we did that. I believe we were distracted. I know I was. I'm in this system just as much as you guys. And I see that Max Vision remote viewing class came in the chat. Good to see you, sir. And Milky Way Soul Tribe came in. Good to see you, sir. Um, we did not do that in 2022. I know I didn't. The holistic fair that I'm running in April 27th and 28th of 2024 in just a few weeks, I did 2 of those. 2 of those in 2022. I was running my butt off on top of so much other stuff. I was not healing as much as I needed to. And so were the majority of everybody else. We were distracted, we were moving around, the world had opened up again, and we were just trying to adjust to this so-called life that we call life, and we were exhausted then. Well, if we don't do what we're supposed to do in 6, with the number 6, with the energy of 6. I'm also born on a 6, so I know a lot about 6. If we don't do what we're supposed to do with 6, it's gonna come back at an 8 because it's a part of the completion. And so what's happening right now, and Lucky Stone 888 and I have been speaking about it for a few weeks about especially it's affecting a lot of the masculine energy right now. A lot of the masculine energy. Because our beloved men, our beloved masculine energy, man, when the world opened up, they were pushing harder than a lot, right? They didn't have time to stop and heal. They might not even acknowledged that they needed to heal. They were just doing what they knew to do, which is fine, which is okay. But now, 8 energy of 2024 is forcing in so many various ways, folks, so many various ways for them to review, reflect, look at things, work through a lot of healing. And I put out with Lucky and I's last Friday show. Hey folks, let me know. Are either you as a masculine energy or the man in your life, are they going through some stuff? I got emails, folks. I got emails of mostly from women saying, "Yeah, I don't know. I can't help him. I can't help him." And no, you can't. You can't. You can be there. You can walk with him, right? As we walk this awakening together, but you can't heal him, right? And it's because we're at an 8 that needs us to complete these cycles. These little inklings that we had back when to heal that, heal this, heal that, are kind of being forced upon people right now. So it's a bit difficult. On top of yay, right? On top of these eclipses bring everybody out of the woodworks, man. It brings I have so much fascinating stuff running through my feed that I'm like, that's what's gonna happen? Hmm, okay, that's what's gonna happen? Okay, okay. Um, it's all fear. From the comet to the rapture to war to this to I mean, I so imagine I wanna just stay on the men for a minute, the masculine energy. Imagine all these things hitting where they were raised and taught and in some ways rightly so, to feel as if they have to protect, to feel as if they need to solve the problems because the masculine energy is our worker. It is our problem solver. It is the one that gets it done. The masculine energy within all of us, right? But imagine if you are more inclined with that energy in a male form, that something's going on in your life that's opening up all these emotions that you have to heal on top of seemingly what the world wants to tell you is the end of days. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine what that would be like. I just can't because I ride more on the feminine, even though I use my masculine like no other. Ooh, I love it in me, but I can't imagine what that is like. But same with the feminine, because we're all in this together. The rise of Sophia started with the eclipse that's attached to the one coming in April, the one in August 2017. If you do not know the story of Sophia, let's say she I'm going to try to sum this up really fast. Let's say she was the one who accidentally, out of desire, created the bastard who controls this chaos world. And after she did that, she was locked away. And in 2017, she was set free and started rising and rising and rising to reunite with the kingdom. Let's say it that way. Let's say it that way. That is a very short synopsis of I've talked about Sophia a million times here. I'm sure you can find videos that say Sophia in it. Uh, she has risen. She has risen. And through that, though, so much has happened with the feminine energy over time, right? The feminine energy, um, when I was young in the 90s, it was girl power, and now it's vastly a little bit more dramatic with their power. But we too, right now, are going through emotional healing. So the world, especially the United States of America, where I and most of my viewers are living, um, there's a whole lot, and I've talked about this for a couple of years now. There's a whole lot, pardon me. I'm just making sure that all can still hear me. I see that Lucky Stone AAA has come in and Seeker of Truth has come in. Good to see you all. And I do apologize for that pause. It looked like YouTube was sending me a message of some sort, so I hope I'm still here. Um, the feminine is healing as well. It might just look different. And all of us are supposed to be healing. And right now, we're still not doing it, but it's being forced upon us. With the rise of Sophia, and she is now, that is in completion. This next eclipse, April 8th, that X over the United States, um, is to actually balance, finally within each individual, balance that masculine and feminine within. So, no wonder, as I was about to speak of before that pause, why the United States, definitely us, why we are going through individual and collective identity issues. The poor men are going through feeling the powerlessness, which is very uncomfortable, the review of their life as to what matters most to them, the review of their life as to what direction do they want to take instead of what they were told to take. Women are going through witnessing everything with their children, their grandchildren, their communities where the women are the ones who discuss the community to know what is needed. That tribal aspect of us has never changed. And we're witnessing so much, and we're experiencing our own powerlessness, and everyone's feeling that, and it brings them back. It brings them back to when they felt it as a young person, as a child. And usually, when you feel powerlessness, the circumstances are not good. Those moments, those moments that all this stuff is reminding us of, those are the moments we should be healing. Those are the moments that we get to go, okay, this is an opportunity that my memory brought this to my attention. Let's look at it. Let's look at it through adult eyes. Let's look at it as, how did that shape my perception of who I am and what I'm expected to do for some reason? Our identities are shifting as the United States identity is shifting. I mean, let's say, folks, we're not united now, are we? That's okay. That's okay. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't. We are very big. We are very big. The United States is so damn big. I've driven most of it. Um, we are so big. We don't necessarily need to be united, right? That's not, it doesn't make it right or wrong. It just doesn't have to be, right? All of Europe fits in like a very small fraction of of the United States, and they're not necessarily united now, are they? On every little thing? No. So why are we? Because we were founded that way? We were also founded in many, many other ways, right? So doesn't have to be. So as we experience the shift of identity of the United States, we're also feeling a shift of identity within ourselves. Why am I in this career? Why am I doing this? Why did I do that? What do I care about most? If I'm feeling powerless, what do I actually have power of? What do I have? What is mine that is unique and different and mine? And all those memories that are coming back to actually serve us in healing and releasing, so we don't get stuck when we feel that we're powerless. We're not handling it well enough. And I'm for everyone. This is for everyone who hears this. So, if anything, tonight, we're going to go back to the card that was picked. The card that came up was number 20, discernment. The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance, the masculine and feminine completely balanced within. It has to happen, and it will. A place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. As I drop it, sorry. With compassion and wisdom, detachment and inner balance. Sorry, folks, my camera has that line going through it. That is the sacred geometry of detachment or discernment. I'm sorry. You might as well just call it detachment. Discernment. That is beautiful. Do you guys see that? Do you see spirals in there? If I could stop shaking a bit, there's spirals in there. All the beautiful lines, the three bubbles, the Trinity, the Trinity, which is going to be another part of tonight. So I might as well. Um, Before I go on, there is a lot out there that's being spewed out into the world. Messages from all over about, the plight of the planet. I say, this is just a suggestion, and, I'm going to work towards it. I don't ever ask anyone to contemplate doing something if I'm not going to do it myself or haven't already done it. I don't roll that way. I am going to take the next couple of weeks to check all my shadow spots, all my little shadows. How you doing, little shadow? I had a dear friend who lived with me for a little while. He's no longer with us. But every day when he got home, he would ask me if I hugged my demon that day. He would say, "Courtney, did you hug your demons today?" And it was nice that somebody asked, like, did you take care of yourself? Did you love all those little shadow parts of yourself? Did you hug them? Did you take care of them? So every day he would say, "Courtney, did you hug your demons today?" And I didn't lie. I mean, some days I'd be like, "No, I didn't. Didn't even think about it." Other days I'd be like, "Yeah, I hugged the shit out of them." Or they were going to go loose, you know. um it was a good way to just check in, if I was taking care of myself. And same to him. I threw it right back at him. Did you hug your demons today? And that is what we have to do. We have to hug the hell out of them, right? All those little shadow spots within us, all those little insecurities, all those fears, all those possible regrets, all those shame. Hug them, hug them, hug them, hug them, hug them all the time, hug them all the time. So I'm going to be doing that leading into the eclipse on April 8th. I'm going to revert back to what I know, and that is taking care of myself and healing the parts that need to be healed. I suggest maybe others do the same, right? Both masculine and feminine, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of it. The pyramid of ascension, right? The pyramid of ascension. We put the pyramid up here, four corners, physical, mental, emotional. I can't do anything in reverse, obviously. Um, and then it builds your lovely pyramid with four sides, right? The four parts of you. And then I don't know if you guys know. See, I teach about pyramids. What people don't understand is that this is you. This is you. Everybody talks about pyramids being an energy conductor. It is true. And so are you. But your base, your foundation of your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual have to be solid, to hold up this pyramid, right? This pyramid of pure energy, which is you, the star. This is you. Well, when there's cracks and there's things we've neglected and there's things that might be banging on our door to look at, but we're too afraid, the whole pyramid ends up crumbling. It just falls away. And then we don't have the energy. We don't have the energy to face the day. We don't have the energy to, when we see things and hear things, go, okay, c'est la vie. Means nothing to me, right? So, oh, beloved said count 5 sides. No, I was talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, 5 sides. Sorry, beloved. 5 sides. Beloved was like, count again. There's 5 sides. I teach it that of the 4 sides, and then the fifth side is the Trinity, which good. I'm getting back into the Trinity. I'm supposed to get there. It means nothing when I'm late at night. Um, but thank you. He's like, count again. Um, let's just get into the Trinity. There's a lot of different Trinities. A lot of different Trinities. I always say the Trinity plus me equals 4, which is complete balance. Lots of Trinities. Um, and this weekend, everybody is because it's resurrection weekend, um, with the eclipse, there's so much talk about the rapture. There's so much talk. I have not seen the rapture get so much airplay I don't know, a long time. I think 2012 was the last time you got so much rapture play, right? The end of days. It's all gonna end. I've been in chats on this YouTube thing that somebody would bring up the clips of like, "Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen." And more than one person said, "It's the end." The end of what? The end of what? Like, I'm not the end of what? They never finished the sentence. There's been multiple people say it's the end without finishing what that thought is, right? I don't know. Whatever. With the resurrection, um, in the middle of all this and all the airplay about the rapture, resurrection energy is actually very powerful. And Christ was not the only person that ever resurrected. That's not accurate at all. He's the one on the main stage that resurrected, but there have been many others that resurrected. Resurrection energy, which that's all that is what we should all try to tap into. To resurrect out of the old, to be the phoenix that flies out of the ashes, to use that energy to support our new endeavors, to support how we want to complete the 8 of 2024. Resurrection energy is awesome. It really is. It's awesome. And this is the time of year to remind us all that we can do it. We can all live after death. We can all live, right? We can all die and resurrect. We do it all the time. We do it every day. We do it all the time, but we're just not used to looking at it that way. It's the representation of the moon and the sun. It's the representation of sleeping and awaking. It's the representation of the seasons. We do it all the time. All the time. So but we forget because we just get up, we resurrect every morning, then we go to work, and then we come home and we eat dinner and we crash on the couch, and then we go to bed and we die, and then we get up and we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again. So our little lives have dumbed down the power of resurrection. So let's just hypothetically say that all these people in these chats are accurate about the end. Whatever the end is, these people have not yet finished that sentence. They just answer with the end. Was it the end of what? A sitcom? I don't know. The end of what? I don't know what they're talking about. Um, Many of them I think are probably either referring to the end of the United States or the end of the world. Uh, either or, I think is what they're referencing to. The end of life. I mean, I really don't know. They should be much more clear about that. Um, because it's just even worse fear base if you don't finish the sentence. You see what I'm saying? Like they say it's the end. I don't to then just cause when there's mystery around fear, it makes the fear even worse. It's crazy. Um Within the resurrection energy and the fact that all these people are being forced to heal, all of us are being forced to look at the things that we were supposed to be looking at 2022 to do the ultimate year of healing. Um, we all have an opportunity to release ourselves from the life that we were living before. We can all release ourselves from that. But you have to go through to get out, right? You have to go through. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Resurrection is beautiful. And I know there's people out there that say, it didn't happen, this and that, but there's also no text, at least from that time and moving forward, that denies that that happened. No one denies that. I'm talking about the Christ stuff. No one actually denies that. But what is denied is if he's a Messiah or not a Messiah. Well, that doesn't matter, right? The symbolism of resurrection has nothing to do if you're a Messiah or not. For the Christians, it does because it's proof, clarity for them. For others, it's not. Because why? There have been others who did it, right? That's that's apples and oranges. No one actually denies in text that that action did not happen. And so if we look at the different texts and we think, okay, well, even if this action happened, look at the action. Just action. Anyone who studies how to write, by the way, which I did for 4 years, we're told to start with the action. Start with the action. Whenever you go to write something, start with the action. All these books that start with, like, long monologues, not too much of a good beginning. Most people would, stop reading. Start with the action. So if you look at just the action of what took place, quote, unquote, what tomorrow is for a lot of people, Good Friday, to Sunday, right? The action that took place. It's hard for me to not understand why people don't put that into the scope of their own life. Every cut, every bruise, every whip, every thorn, every time you fallen down carrying the cross, every time this, every time that, every single pain that could possibly be endured. And there was a lot. I mean, there were what, 30 um 32 or 33 lashings with, metal at the end of the whip and just tearing his back up. Everything that could possibly be endured could be a symbol to your own mental, emotional, and physical, spiritual anguish. Every single one. Every single one. There's actually books written about that. Every single one could be a symbol to your own, in your own current life, some form of mental, emotional, physical anguish. And so, at the end of all of that action, at the end of that death, and then that resurrection, it is a symbolic story of the energy that every single human can do the same, can rise out of all of the pain and misery that is and was real, is or was fictional, is or was real, is or was imaginary fear. that all of us can, if we so choose, to lay in that coffin for a long time, healing, 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 and then resurrect all new. It's wonderful, wonderful energy in a story. It's a wonderful story. I love that story, right? It's wonderful. We can all do that. We can all do that. And think of the perilous times that they were living. I mean, we live in a fascinating time. I was thinking about this the other night because we're going in reverse. We're going in reverse in a lot of ways as far as because I said it on one of my shows the other day of that we are nowhere near of the tragic, horrible civilization that Jesus was actually born into. I mean, what we have now is really in no comparison. But I then a few days later was thinking about something about how we're actually going in reverse to potentially be that if we don't resurrect into new energy, right? Into new possibilities and potentialities. Um, I was thinking about language. I think about language a lot, folks, because it is the first thing that I pay attention to when it starts shifting dramatically. I was raised to pay attention to language um, as far as how you control a population of people. And it wasn't so much the language that I landed on, it was the fact of what everybody's doing right now. You're listening to me. And I thank you. Hit that thumbs up. Cheers. But it's kind of like, you know, that old telephone game that we played when we were kids. Because I'm a teacher, and even in person classes, I will teach all morning, and then we might have to go to lunch, and then we're talking about stuff, and somebody says something, and I go, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything remotely like that. Because people hear what they need to hear, or people hear what they want to hear. Even when I do Akashic readings, a few weeks later, we might all be sitting around and somebody says something that supposedly I said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. But they think I did. That's what they heard. That's what they heard in this telephone game, right? And so when you think of it in that way, and track with me, folks, we are going back to the time before the printing press, going even further back to when it was just storytellers, that everything was communicated via someone coming into the village, into the town, into the tribe, and communicating it verbally. Hmm, that's fascinating. That in a time when everything is in print, you can actually look and Google up anything. Google, and Google it. Um, you can actually look up definitions of words. You can look up the meaning of things. You can look up to quote unquote fact check folks, right? I say that with humor. Um, you can actually do the research and have discernment for yourself. That's not what anybody's doing. Discernment. That's not apparently what anybody's really doing. They're just listening. They're listening to so much stuff. Listening, listening, listening. I wonder what they're hearing, though. I wonder what they're hearing in the world of telephone. And that's why I said we're actually going backwards. Because without the written word, without language, shared language, and the written word that made it that it was the same language, same story, same news, same everything, with the written word going out opposed to all sorts of things and hearing. Without that, I wonder what kind of society we are creating then. I do. We say we believe we've come very far, and I think we do. But I wonder if we've come so far, and then we plateaued, and then we got scared, and out of fear, we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna go backwards. I was in a conversation once with someone, intelligent human being, and they said they wanted to they think that we should take out all punctuation out of writing. And I completely disagreed because the word is mightier than the sword. The word is mightier than the sword, and punctuation helps all the jabs of those words. And most great writing is protest literature. Most of the books that all of you refer to, you know, 1984, Huxley, all of them, A Brave New World, right? All of it. All of it. Catcher in the Rye. I don't whatever you all read, uh, that was all protest literature. So that was just a little rant of mine that I wonder how society, the young ones, will operate when they're old ones and they're just used to this. They're just used to hearing and not having to investigate anything themselves, not having to have discernment, kind of blowing in the wind of whatever is the next thing that they hear. What a fascinating um, society that would be. What an interesting um, way that, well, things could go downhill pretty fast. So, with the resurrection energy and the needing to heal, the time to heal is now. To finish it. To finish it. That's what 2024 is for. To finish it. So then we can focus on the earth, on one another. You know, we talk about it in the Edgar Casey life skills study that you can't help anyone else unless you've helped yourself. And we're really here to help one another and the earth. That's it. But most of us help now out of the sickness, out of the being a partner in pain, out of the drama. Oh my God, the people's love for drama is ecstatically wonderful in its own right. And when I say wonderful, I mean that in a very sarcastic way, you know. So, healing, to use the resurrection energy, to come anew, to form anew, and then be part of, as I was going to say, the Trinity. The Trinity in me equals four, which is complete balance. That is the bottom of my pyramid. Trinity and me. Three plus me equals four. There are many trinities out there. You could see it as sun, moon, earth. That's a trinity. Sun, moon, earth. Trinity, right? You could see it as Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Cool. Go for it. You could see it as mother, father, human, right? Mother, father, Adam, however you need to see it, right? You could see it as the triple goddess, 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 as many use, triple goddess. You could see it as there's one that many don't know about. That is Thoth, Lucifer, and Metatron. That's a trinity. Thoth, Lucifer, Metatron. That's a trinity. You can see Trinity however you need to see it. But if we actually use whatever Trinity we're going to use and add a healthy masculine, feminine, balanced energy that is us with it, we are complete balance. And in complete balance, we don't fall so easily now, do we? We don't fall by the rumors. We don't fall because we heard something. We don't fall because of whatever jargon is going on, right? We don't fall. It's that inner balance that this card spoke about with compassion and wisdom, right? With the discernment card. We don't fall then. 3 plus me equals 4. Complete balance. That's how I view it. And you can use whatever trinity you want. You really can. You can switch them up. Someday for me, it is the sun, moon, and earth. Like that's a trinity I'm rolling with that day. Some it's whatever I need to work with in that day, in those weeks, what have you. So I suggest looking and healing those little memories that are coming back that represent powerlessness to you that are being triggered by all the stuff happening today. I suggest doing that. Really looking at them, healing them, looking at the fear that was caused and created and then grew out of that. Heal. Use the resurrection energy to come anew I will say post the eclipse. And then attach yourself to some kind of trinity to say 3 plus me equals 4. I'm complete balance. I'm here to rock and roll. Ain't nothing gonna knock me over. Ain't nothing gonna break me down. Nothing. Nothing. So I guess that's my little rant for tonight. Because I do have compassion for everyone who's experiencing a lot of stuff. I have compassion for those who only listen and they listen to a lot of things. I cannot imagine what that would be like to listen to all of the noise out there. I cannot imagine what that would be like to a human brain, right? To a human brain that has not established com- sin- sincere discernment, that hasn't established discernment within themselves yet because let's listen to the definition again. The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance. How many of you have a complete inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom? How many of you are detached? Detached to the outcomes? How many of you are actually have complete, full, masculine, feminine, divine balance within? 3 plus me equals 4. I'm balanced within and are detached from all the chatter that do not have any thoughts about the outcomes of any of these situations. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, it doesn't matter when you're detached, right? How many of you can honestly say that? I think that's what we need to be working towards, that inner balance first, because that inner balance has to be there in order for you to feel sturdy, whole, structured, complete, that you can detach because you have complete knowing and faith. The outcomes don't matter. And then you can view things vastly different. Vastly, vastly, vastly different. So, so I enjoy you all. I love you all. I will be with Lucky Stone 888 tomorrow night. It is pre-recorded as of now. I'm not sure when we're recording just yet tomorrow, but we will be. And I'm sure Lucky and I will discuss some stuff randomly together doing our Friday night gig. So thanks everybody for coming. I saw Beloved came in, Teresa came in, um, Coke Queen. It was good to see you, my dear. Definitely everybody. Thank you for being here. Um, have a great time. And if you have tomorrow off, cherish it. Cherish every moment, just cherish. It's such a good word. Such a good word. If you can't remember anything I said today because why you were listening and you probably heard a bunch of stuff that I actually didn't say. I'm picking on you and me. It's what we do. It's the telephone game. It's human nature. Um, if you can't remember anything, remember the word cherish. So go cherish yourself and hug your demons, folks. Night, guys.